Riding ATV trails in Ontario is some of the best riding to be had anywhere. And on today's adventure, we're going to kick up the dust here in the trails of the EOTA, or Eastern Ontario Trails Alliance. The EOTA is located in the Ontario's Highlands, with its southern corridor trails extending south to the 401 and along the small towns of Highway 7. This region also heads into places like Bancroft. For our launch point into the EOTA, we've chosen Corbyville as our trailhead. And as trailheads go, this one's a super easy one to get to. Located in the southern half of the trail system, we're just off the 401 in Belleville. As a matter of fact, the 401 is only about a kilometer that way. Now talk about easy to get to. Now this place is also perfect to leave the trucks and trailers behind, because on this adventure, we're going for 3 days and 2 overnights, all off the ATVs. Everything that we have packed, we got to take with us, because there's no chase truck either to bring our gear and fresh underwear to the hotel. Instead, if we don't have it on the ATVs, we're not going to have it. Another thing that we're not going to have is a trail guide. On this adventure, we're going by ourselves, relying only on the trail map to get us through to our overnight. And speaking of overnights, that's tonight at the Park Place Hotel in Tweed. Another advantage of just having an overnight stay planned is that it gives us a chance to go wander in the trail system. We will be sticking mostly to the old east-west railbed corridor that links many of the small towns in this part of the Ontario's Highlands. Never very far off Highway 7, these towns grew out of the industry linked by a once active rail trade. For train buffs, or for those of us who like industrial engineering, much of the old infrastructure of the line is still in place. The raised beds through the marshland and bridges almost 100 years old bring life to this part of the EOTA system. One of the highlights for me was an intersection of 2 of these old lines, with the north-south bed passing under the east-west, both of which are part of the EOTA trails. These old structures offer a good chance to get off the ATVs to explore around, or just take a few minutes to relax. This is the kind of trailside gem that you find when you're out wandering on a trail system with your ATVs. This would be a perfect spot for a campfire cookout style lunch. Unfortunately, we didn't bring that stuff with us this time, but guaranteed next time I go on an ATV ride, all my campfire gear is going to be packed. Another aspect of these trails we discovered is how welcoming the communities are along the system, and with ATVs and now UTVs being granted permission to travel on many of the paved roadways, access to services, fuel, and food is never a problem.
I think our county's always been very open to the trails. I know early on when people started putting out permission to run on roads, I know Sterling Rodden and Hastings County, I know Sterling Rodden for sure was one of the first to allow ATVs on the road, obviously. We're not too far off the EOTA trail. So as far as the ATVs coming in, we do have rides, designated rides. I think my wife has a picture in her scrapbook, 60 ATVs here. So obviously huge input, right, into the retail side of things. You know, basically we're 2 hours from Ottawa, 2 hours from Toronto, give or take, depending on traffic. So yeah, it's, you know, you can have a good weekend ride, right? Come out, ride 2 days, and still be back home for work on Monday. So yeah, I think geographically you're perfect, right, for that type of atmosphere. And there's lots of places here to unload your bikes. Like you take Sterling, Springbrook, Marmor, there's lots of places, park your vehicles, unload your bikes, and go.
We're at the start of day 2 of our wander around the EOTA trail system, with tonight's overnight destination being Sharbot Lake. But before we leave Tweed, we're going to have breakfast and figure out where our wander is going to take us today. Our wander through this part of the Ontario Highlands and the EOTA system will continue on the old rail beds and through the small towns as we make our way to Sharbot Lake. So another relatively easy ride. With riders who are searching for a challenge or thrill may choose to use these corridor trails to head north into the more rugged terrain. However, we're sticking to the south. This part of the system is also perfect for enthusiasts who are looking for an easier excursion. Never very far from food or fuel, plus the signage and obvious railbed trails take away all the worry of losing your way. And while our midweek ride meant the trails were relatively quiet with other riders, we still managed to come across a few others out enjoying themselves.
and we're down on Kennebec Lake doing some fishing and some ATVing and just enjoying life. Well, we're going to stop and see a friend in Sulphide, and then probably head into the Tweed, maybe go to the Tweedsmere, have lunch, and then back to Arden, and then up to Kennebec Lake again. New activity for you.
New activity for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's done it for years and
Yeah.
years. I'm really liking it. I can't wait till he gets pegs on here though, so my feet have something to sit on.
Yeah.
Because you just put the seat on and it's
It was just a
comfortable,
bike
but
I just picked up recently, so I was like, okay, I've got a bike now. Let's tour.
he was going to stop when we got into Calidar. He says, well, maybe we should stop. Are you okay? Are you okay? I have some leg health issues. No big deal, right? And I'm like, no, I'm fine. Let's keep going. It's not so bad. I said, I'm looking forward to the pegs, but no, it's nice. We'll be going more often. And I can't see us coming down without the boat and the four-wheeler now.
Yeah. So, I mean, you have the trails, you have the back roads. I mean, I got trails that I can take you guys into to blow your mind. You're going like, wow, I didn't know there's such things in here, right? But
I was impressed.
with challenging hills up and over.
That's when you go by yourself.
That's when I go by myself, yeah.
I'm not going that time.
Our wander through this part of the Ontario's Highlands on the EOTA system will continue on the old rail beds and through the small towns as we make our way to Sharbot Lake.
Dude, what are you doing?
Fishing.
Why?
Well, we're doing this EOTA Wander the Trails thing, right? And thought for a side-by story I could catch dinner, but all I have is this kid's fishing rod.
You know it's wing night at the pub at the Country Inn, right? Good chat.
All of the communities are connected via trails. That's one of the main goals is having all these communities connected. So there is a place where user groups can access food and fuel and accommodations. What the ATVers are going to see is a network of abandoned rail beds. We're very, very fortunate to have such a large network of abandoned rail beds. And included in with those are a mixture of forest and hydro access roads, and along the ways you'll find little offshoots on public lands and places like that too. So there's a really, really vast mixture of everything. You know, right from intermediate riding right up to more skilled riders. We have one of the best maps around, I believe, published. It's very, very easy to follow. The trails on there, I like to call them corridors. We have premier trails here, and the communities along the way that link up the trails are going to take care of you.
Our final day will see us double back on the trails leading to Sharbot Lake on our way back to Corbyville and the trucks. To help plan your trip within the Ontario's Highlands and EOTA trail system, whether it's a ride that's entirely planned out or if you simply choose to go wander, check out comewander.ca or thetrail.ca to start your adventure.